She mysteriously got pregnant, and everyone wondered who could have gotten a mad woman pregnant, and most importantly, why. In a quiet village far from the city, there lived a woman known to everyone as the Mad Woman. Her real name was Alero, but no one called her that anymore. Her clothes were always dirty, her hair tangled, and she often mumbled to herself while walking barefoot along the dusty roads. People said she had lost her mind years ago. Some believed it was because of heartbreak. Others whispered darker things, that she had crossed spirits or was cursed. No one really knew, and no one cared enough to ask. Except Martins, a 21-year-old boy who had just returned from the university to see his family in the village. Martins had a kind heart and never believed in mocking others. He would often bring Alero food or water, and leave it near her small, broken hut on the edge of the village. Sometimes she would smile. Other times, she would look at him with tears in her eyes. Months later, a strange thing happened. Alero was pregnant, and worse still, she began losing weight. The entire village went wild with gossip. It must be Martins. Maybe he is a secret Yahoo boy in the city and has used her for money rituals, they said. After all, he's always around her. Such a shameful boy. No one believed Martins when he said it wasn't him. Even his friends laughed behind his back. His parents were heartbroken, ashamed by the rumors. But Martins knew the truth. He had never touched her, and he didn't use her for any rituals. He wasn't even a Yahoo boy. He knew that something wasn't right, and he decided to find out what was really going on. He was determined to find out who impregnated her. One night, Martins hid near Alero's hut. He waited in the dark, hiding behind a tree. Around midnight, he saw a shadow approaching. A tall man dressed in fine clothes and wearing a cap low over his face. It was Chief Collins, the richest and most feared man in the village. Martins watched as the chief entered Alero's hut, staying there for a long time. When he finally came out, he arranged his clothes and looked around nervously before disappearing into the darkness. Martins watched in disbelief. He was shocked. So Chief Collins was the one visiting her at night. He was the one that got her pregnant. And suddenly, everything made sense. The pregnancy, her sadness, her weight loss, and the way she mumbled like she was protecting a secret. The evening the next day, Martins decided to confront the chief. He waited outside the chief's compound and stopped him as he walked out. "I know what you're doing with that woman," Martins said, his voice trembling. "I saw you last night." Chief Collins's eyes turned cold. He stepped closer and whispered, "Be careful, boy. You don't know who you're talking to." "I'm not here to cause trouble," Martins said. "I just want you to take responsibility for your actions." Chief Collins smiled, a bitter smile that didn't cross his lips. "I've heard what you said," the chief said nonchalantly. "I'll do as you've said." Martins smiled, relieved that Alero would finally be in the hands of someone that'll take care of her. He turned to leave, but Chief Collins' boys grabbed him from behind, and that was the last thing he remembered before everything went black. When Martins woke up, he was in a dark room. His hands and feet were tied. The air was hot, dusty, and smelled of sweat. He had been kidnapped by the chief's men. 4 days, Martins was kept in the room. No windows, no light, no food except dirty water and dry bread. His parents searched everywhere for him, but they never found him. Back in Chief Collins' house, Martins didn't know how much time had passed. His heart broke when he thought of Alero. He didn't know what the chief was planning, until he overheard 2 guards talking. "He wants the baby for money ritual," one of them whispered. "The chief says it must be taken before the woman gives birth." Martins's heart dropped. Chief Collins was young. How come he's involved in such a thing? He realized that Chief Collins never loved Alero. He was using her. And now, the baby growing inside her was part of some dark ritual. Martins knew he had to escape. He had to save himself and save Alero. Late one night, the guards forgot to lock the outer door properly. Martins waited until they were asleep, then used a loose metal rod from the wall to break his ropes. Slowly and quietly, he slipped out and ran as fast as he could. His feet bled, his stomach ached, but he didn't stop. He ran straight to Alero's hut. But when he got there, she was gone. The fire had gone cold. The mat where she used to sleep was empty. Her clothes, her bowls, everything had disappeared. "No," Martins whispered. He took her. He thought of going to the police, but something stopped him. He had seen how deadly Collins was, and he knew better that going to the police to report Collins without proof could get him arrested, and worse. Chief Collins could bribe the police and they would hand him over to the chief. So he made a decision. He would sneak into the chief's mansion to find her. That night, Martins climbed the back fence of the compound and waited in the shadows. Just before dawn, he crept into the servants' quarters and searched every room. Finally, in a dark, locked room in the back, he found her. Alero was sitting on the floor, her hands tied, her face pale and tired. But when she saw Martins, her eyes lit up. "I knew you'd come to save," she whispered, tears flowing from her cheeks like a broken dam. They hugged, and he quickly untied her. But as they were about to leave, a loud shout rang through the mansion. "There they are!" One of the men yelled. The chief's men had seen them. Martins grabbed Alero's hand, and they ran. Through corridors, over the wall, into the bushes. But Alero was too weak to run fast. Martins carried her on his back until they reached the road. He left her hidden in an old shed and ran to the police station. He had gotten enough evidence to report Chief Collins. But just like he feared, the officers laughed. "Chief Collins," the officer said, "are you mad? That man feeds this village. He builds schools." Another officer stood and walked toward Martins with handcuffs. "You're the one causing trouble. We should lock you up." Martins ran. He ran to his home and told his parents everything. His father believed him. His mother cried. That night, as Martins and his family slept, the chief sent his men to destroy them. They came with fire and a lighter. They locked the doors and windows and poured gasoline over the house. Before Martins and his parents could wake or escape, the flames surrounded them. The smoke was thick, the heat unbearable. Martins, his parents, and his little sister were burned alive in their own home. The screams echoed in the night, but before the villagers could put off the fire, they were already gone.
And no one survived.
Officer Fred, a young policeman new to the village, had been watching everything. He did not trust the corrupt officers and secretly followed Martins's story. When he found out about the fire and the chief's cruelty, he collected evidence. Secret voice recordings, testimonies, and the burned remains. He went straight to the DPO, demanding justice. The DPO, shocked and furious, ordered the immediate arrest of Chief Collins. The chief was taken from his mansion in handcuffs. Stunned by the power of the law he thought he controlled. The village was shaken. For years they had called Alero mad. They had ignored her pain. They had almost let a child be sacrificed. But now the truth was out. The police raided the chief's mansion, arresting all his men. But Alero was never seen again. Some say she escaped into the forest, protecting her unborn child. Some say the spirits carried her away. Others say she died broken-hearted. Martins's family was gone, but his courage exposed the darkness. And the village finally understood. The mad woman was never mad. She was a victim silenced by fear and greed. And one boy's kindness cost him everything.